Hey guys, it's Amber from the WOW Creative team, and today I'm sharing a Chameleon heat embossing technique. I'll show you how you can take advantage of the translucent property of embossing powders to create a color change effect. Let's get started. I'm going to start with about a 2-inch strip of Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80 pound. You can use your favorite cardstock. A smooth cardstock is really nice for blending. I'm using the Altenew Seashores ink family in order to create an ombre effect on this. So I'm using Mountain Mist, Volcano Lake, Lagoon, and Emerald. So what I'm doing here, and the reason I'm creating an ombre effect, is because I'm going to harness the power of the translucent embossing powder. So I'm going to pair this with primary Marshmallow embossing powder, which is a super vibrant, almost a neon pink translucent powder. What's going to happen is it's going to interact with the color that's underneath it. So depending upon what color cardstock you use this embossing powder on, the resulting color is going to be different because it's translucent. As you can see over on the right, I am using the WOW Christmas Bauble stamp set. This one was designed by Karen from our creative team. I'm just going to treat my paper with an anti-static powder tool, and I'll stamp this with the WOW embossing pad. Now you want to make sure that your ink is completely dry, so I didn't mention it while I was doing it, but I did use my heat tool on the lowest setting in order to dry the ink, and then I also tested it with a little bit of embossing powder to make sure that it wasn't still wet and that my embossing powder wasn't going to stick to the entire strip of paper. So here I have the WOW Marshmallow, primary Marshmallow embossing powder. Again, this is a translucent powder, so any of your translucent powders are going to work with this technique. You want to be mindful of your color wheel so that you know what color it's interacting with. So you're not going to want to do this with a yellow embossing powder on, say, purple cardstock or a purple ink blended background, for instance, because that'll make brown. Unless what you're going for is to get a color change into brown, which might be cool for an autumn card. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up the embossing powder. I knocked off any excess with a dry paintbrush. I accidentally dropped that there, and it did actually smear my image there just a little bit. You can see that the detail in the center of that ornament is a little bit smeared because I dropped it. So here you can see that the embossing powder is dark at the top, and then as I get down to the whiter area on the card, that's where you start to see the pink embossing powder. So again, I'm using the single color of embossing powder, but depending upon what your background is, the embossing powder is going to show up as a different color, which I think is really cool. So up top, it almost looks like a tone-on-tone emerald embossing powder, and then at the bottom, you have that really pretty marshmallow pink. So I wanted to get a little more of that pink in there to further the effect, and so I just stamped another image. Rather than masking, I'll just knock off the extra embossing powder on the string from the ornament. And look how pretty that is. You go from the emerald color up at the top to a really pretty purple, and then down into that pink for that color change effect. And I just think that's so pretty. So you'll have to, like I said, think about your color combinations. Here I went ahead and used the Merry Christmas stamp from the set, and I am going to heat emboss that in the Marshmallow embossing powder. I have a piece of Cherry Blossom gradient cardstock from Altenew here. I wanted to get a little bit more of that fuchsia into this card, so I'm just going to back my heat emboss panel here. I'll glue this down to the card, and then I'll trim off the excess on my trimmer. So this just gives it a nice little border. And I didn't bother popping it up, but you certainly could pop this up on either double-sided foam tape or on sticky back fun foam. Any of those would work well. I added some pink confetti sequins, and I decided to flip-flop it. Here I went ahead and ink blended a full card. This time I'm leaving a lot more white at the bottom because I wanted to see more of this primary Bluetiful embossing powder. So I'm using the same stamp set, the same two Christmas baubles. This time I've used the magenta inks from the Spring Bouquet Altenew ink family, and I'm using primary Bluetiful for my embossing powder. Here you can see my ink was still a little bit wet at the top, so I'm just going to knock that off with the dry paintbrush. I stamped a few more, and then we'll go ahead and get these heat embossed. So at the top, it's going to create a really pretty purple. So this is the same kind of color families. I've just flip-flopped them, and in retrospect, I think it might have been better if I'd done two completely different color families. But you guys get the idea, and then you can experiment with your colors at home and the embossing powders that you have and come up with some different combinations. I'll go ahead and stamp another sentiment. I will emboss this still in that Bluetiful, primary Bluetiful embossing powder, which obviously is a translucent powder. And then I come in and ink blend a darker color at the top. It wasn't quite dark enough for me. I wanted to get more depth of color up there. And I also trimmed off about 1/8 of an inch on either side of the card to just bring a little more white into the design, and added some Nuvo drops. I hope that you guys enjoyed this Chameleon heat embossing color change effect, and we'll do some experimenting with some of your translucent powders. Christmas cards is the WOW monthly challenge theme this month, so be sure to check that out over on the Facebook fan page. I'll have a link to that and all of the supplies listed down below. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon with more inspiration.